Jason, one of the things I noticed watching Luka play with Slovenia is more off of the ball movement, more passing and more cutting. Do you see more of that coming with you as the head coach, or do you prefer the style that they've been playing more? What's your perspective on that?
Well, I think both. You know, when you look at the style, the Dallas Mavericks have set records offensively with Luka. But when you watch him, play for his country, he is off the ball. But you can see that the trust is extremely high with his teammates. You can see his teammates are playing at a very high level for him. And so they do move. He is moving without the ball. But he is shooting the ball at a very high clip, and he's playing at a high clip. And I think his teammates are playing off of him with that, which is exciting to see.
Coach, what do you take from your last two stops, both in Brooklyn and Milwaukee, and then a couple of years with the Lakers as an assistant, that when you come into Dallas as the head coach, that you say, you know what, I'm better because I learned this? What are some of the things that you've learned along the way that make you confident coming into this, that you're going to be able to make this team a contender?
Well, I was very fortunate enough to be on a great staff in L.A. with Frank Vogel. I've learned a lot. Communication is big, being transparent, shooting straight. And then also, being able to not worry, sweat the small stuff, make sure you focus on what's important at that moment. But communication is big. And then I think, what we did in Milwaukee, when it was a development job, again, Giannis was, 20, 21 years old. Jabari, Chris Middleton, those guys were young, and they had just come off of, only winning 14 games. So it was a teaching moment. And so I think for me, it's just being able to help develop, share, what I've been successful with on the court, and being able to help Luka a set of eyes and ears, because as much as you can communicate, you also have to be a great listener. And so those are the things that I can bring here.
Did you see the story in The Ringer about you and Coach Sweeney getting the most out of Giannis? And one of the players said he felt like you had played mind games with him. Did you view it the same? Or I'm sorry, that's a lot, and it's kind of awkward to ask it, but I wanted to put it out there because all the Mavs fans are talking about this article.
Yeah, and so when you look at the mental side of the game, and I thought I saw Giannis and Chris are the things that we talked about a long time ago. You can be physically gifted, but the mental game is where you look at the greatest players have always been above par. And when you look at Michael, they always talked about his mindset. Tiger Woods, his mindset. And for Giannis, his appetite was so big that he wanted to be great. And so we talked about mindset, understanding that Giannis is never going to give up, no matter what the score is, no matter how far behind he is. If you're going for a layup, he always believes that he can block it. And so I would say it was mind games, more of a mental training of trying to become stronger, so that when it comes down to that pressure situation, that you don't give in and that you rise to the occasion. And I thought we saw that this season with Giannis.
It seemed like Rick Carlisle was kind of involved in terms of scouting and drafting and players that they wanted to acquire. What's your role going to be as the head coach? Are you just, I'll coach what they give me, or will you be involved in that process as well?
I've tried to tell Mark and Nico that I just want to coach. And they told me that I have to be involved in the process. Sometimes we want the keys to everything. I've learned my lessons from that. I really want to focus on coaching and becoming, the best coach that I can. But if the process is where they ask me a question about a player, then I'll give that input. But again, I'm just happy to have that chance to be part of that process, but more or less focus on coaching.
Mark Cuban had said the team needs a secondary scorer. Can KP be that guy for you?
Yes, I truly believe KP can be that guy. I believe we have quite a few guys who can put the ball in the basket. When you look at JB, when you look at Brunson, You look at Maxey, Finney-Smith. They all bring something to the table. But I truly believe KP is a guy that I think you're going to see a different player, a player who isn't rehabbing. He's healthy. He was in the gym today. And so I'm excited to have this opportunity to help him achieve his goals.
Where do you think things went wrong for him? What led to him more being an observer more often than not on offense?
Yeah, well, when you look at, he was rehabbing from injury. He's trying to fit in. And so I think when you look at some of those circumstances, it's hard. But I think being healthy, again, talking to him today, he's really excited. He loves to work, and so I'm excited to put him in a position to be successful. I think sometimes, and I think he might have said this, he did what he was being told to do. And sometimes the game plan is to maybe spot up. But I think he can do more than that.
Coach, if you get some ball handlers in foul trouble, how many minutes do you feel like you could give the team?
I can do the CYO. I can play I think it's 8 minutes, and that's about it. Then it's to the ice tub, and then I got to watch the game from the TV because I won't be able to move.
You still get after it on the perimeter defensively in those 8 minutes? That might come of use.
Zone, strictly zone. Guard my area. Hopefully no one comes in my area.